Retirement is one of the most depressing times in people's life, regardless of what profession you're in. This has been found in military workers, in farmers, etc., where you have a sense of purpose. You have a sense of who you are. I am a firefighter. I am a soldier. I am a professional athlete. I am a farmer. Then all of a sudden you wake up the next day and you are not a professional athlete. You are not a farmer. You are not a soldier. You are not a firefighter. Who are you? And that right there becomes difficult for people. Changes in life, changes in purpose become very difficult, and they're one of the most depressing and challenging times from a mental health perspective for anybody. I'm going to read you a few quotes. The first one is a story that was published by a guy named Nate Jackson, who's a former NFL player. And this one kind of hits home. So, and make no mistake, it is the athletic mind of the athlete that connects the dots. Brilliant performance artists, the lot of them, mistaken as dummies because they never learned to file a report or calculate a spreadsheet. But try visualizing an explosively violent and incredibly intricate physical task and then doing it with your two hands, your body, your limbs, your connections, the synapses, the will and the fire in real time against the most dominant members of the species. That's genius too. I suppose that's the crux of the disenchantment then, the suicides, the depression, the regression, and the underlying sadness that follows a professional football player off the field and into life. Aside from the science of it all, which I'm intentionally avoiding here, the psychological effect can be the most damning. The task for which I have trained every fiber of my body, solidified with a daily rendering of the mind, capitulated in the soul, and exalted by a subsect of society is gone. It no longer needs me. I am unneeded. Make no mistake, I still have the ability to act violently and decisively and crush someone, but I can't use those skills, the ones for which I was trained and praised, because if I do, I will hurt someone and I will go to jail. So that's that. The day before I was cut from the NFL, for the very last time, I was a very good football player. Same with the day after. Same with this very moment, 4 years after it ended for good. But what else then? What do I do with this skill if I don't want to coach football or go on television and talk about football? I watched the PBS Frontline documentary. Scary crap to be confronted with. Football brains being sliced open and containing CTE. Scary and not at all healthy for me going forward. Now I'm familiar with the intricacies of a debate that suggests that my friends and I are probably screwed, statistically speaking. But it's hard to move on, because here I am writing about brain injuries, putting it all into my mind, giving me twisted thoughts. And I swear that when I read about CTE or watch a story about it on TV, I feel an electrical current shoot through my brain. I forgot where my keys are. Is that life or is that CTE? I can't find a job. Must be the tau protein buildup. I am sad and I am depressed, and suicidal thoughts like raindrops come down from the sky on seemingly sunny afternoons. Is this science or the realization that my life peaked in my 20s? I have no skills other than football and no idea what else to do. So just think about that, taking that through the professional athlete mindset of everything that I've done and everything I've lived for is no longer there, and I'm 20. I'm 25. What do I do now? That right there can cause all sorts of mental health complications, and everyone seems to want to blame concussions or head trauma for it, but what about post-professional athlete retirement? What about transition into life? How much are we caring for our athletes during that time period? Can we affect change in this? Can we transition our athletes better into society and into life past football and potentially mitigate some of these things? Maybe they're not related to head trauma at all. Maybe it's related to this. Here's another quote right here from Ronda Rousey, MMA fighter. She was undefeated. She was doing very, very well. And then somebody knocked her out in a fight. And here is her quote. After losing a fight, "What am I if I am not this anymore? I was literally sitting there thinking about killing myself. I'm nothing. What do I do anymore?" Okay? So think about that when you're thinking about athletes that are currently depressed, currently going through this. It might not necessarily be the concussion end of things or the head trauma end of things. It might be, and I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying that there's other things that could be at play here. Okay?